Hello there and welcome to Lower 6th Further Maths A-Level January Mock Exam Revision Sheet 3. Here we're working on question 5. A company has to redistribute staff across 3 divisions: human resource, warehouse staff and telesales. The total number of staff before the redistribution is 1,250 staff. Okay, so what I'm going to do to start with before I read on here is start forming some equations. So human resource staff, add warehouse staff, add telecom sales. All of those staff members add up to 1,250. Okay, let's carry on. The company recognizes it needs to expand human resource department by 20%. So that's 1.2 as a percentage multiplier for the human resource. Expand telesales by 1.1 as a percentage multiplier, or 10%, and reduce warehouse staff by 5%. So as a percentage multiplier, that's 0.95 on the W. This will overall lead to a 10 increase. This will overall lead to a 10 increase by 10 personnel. So that if the personnel before is 1,250, this will now be 1,260. Okay, 2 equations down. The increase in the number of staff of telesales is exactly offset by the decrease in the warehouse staff. Okay, so that means that the 0.1 of the telesales, the increase in the telesales, is exactly equal to the decrease in the warehouse staff, so that would be equal to 0.05 of the warehouse staff. So making an equation out of this is probably going to be more helpful if we do 0.1t take away 0.05w equals 0. Okay, let's ignore that one for now, just so that it fits better into the matrix. Okay. By creating 3 equations, form a matrix and find final number of each staff in each department. Okay, well the matrix here is going to be based on h, t and w variables equaling 1, 2, 5, 0, 1, 2, 6, 0 and 0. Okay, now inside this 3 by 3 matrix here is going to go the coefficients on this h, t and w bit here. So the first line is 1, 1, 1. So if you see here, when we expand the matrix, it's going to be 1 for the human resource, 1 for the telesales, and 1 for the human warehouse. And 1 for the warehouse staff. The next row is going to be 1.2, 1.1, and 0.95. And the next row is going to be now we don't want any of the human resource staff, so we have to put a 0 in that holder there. 0.1 for the telesales, and minus 0.05 for the warehouse staff. Okay, so what we have to do now is we're going to have to work out the human resource, telesales and warehouse staff on their own. What we're going to do is we're going to pre-multiply, so multiply at the start by the inverse of this matrix here. By 1, 2, 5, 0, 1, 2, 6, 0, and 0. So set up your, we need to inverse this, sorry. So we need to inverse this matrix, and that will get us the h, t, and w on its own. So set up your 3 by 3 matrix first, then set up your 3 by 1 matrix, and then you want inverse for matrix A times by the matrix B. Now the way you recall these, you press option, you press 3 for matrix A, and then you use this inverse x to the minus 1 button here for the inverse on a matrix, and then you go times option number 4 for matrix B. Okay, press enter on that, and you get 50, 400, and 800. So that's not the final end to the question. What the question is looking for you to do is find the final number after the redistribution. So on the human resource level, if we increase this by 20%, we get 60 staff members. H prime we'll call this. T prime, so the telesales staff after the redistribution, this is going to increase by 10%, so that's 440 members of staff. And for the W prime, if this is going to increase and decrease by the same amount as the telesales, decrease this by 40 and you get 760 staff that are now working in the warehouse. Okay, great, that's 6 marks for that question.